Hey guys, so it's a little different video I'm gonna try to do today. As you can see, I'm not on the truck, I'm at home, and so I thought I would do a video with my husband and let him talk about his perspective and hear his side of the story.
My perspective, okay. My side of
What?
my side of what?
What it's like to live with truck drivers, or because you grew up in a truck driving family.
I did. I never thought you would be a truck driver. Matter of fact, we had a making me laugh. We had an argument about that. I said no, we're not going to do that, and so she went ahead and did it anyway. So you gotta be supportive. But being in a truck driver family, what do? I mean, you can't say no. We not gonna have you do that because you gotta support her. You know, you done it yourself. It's kind of like anything else, like police officer, fireman, I guess. But I think it helped her seeing that all the stuff that we've done or I've done or whatever. I drove truck for quite a while before she tried to do it. Did not go well a few times. Tried to teach her how to back a trailer up and stuff, and I was not the person for that job, I think. Anyway, but yeah, my whole family did. My dad did, so it taught me kind of a little bit. It's kind of like they say, it's in your blood a little bit, so I don't know what caused you to do it. I guess seeing stuff or traveling. See, everybody has that misconception that, you know, you get to see the whole world, you know, you're lucky, you get to see all these places and go all these places and all that, and I'll let Chaz tell you about that, because she was one, she said, yeah, it'd be nice, we could see all the country and everything else, but there's a problem with that. What's that?
It's hard to get anywhere. You can't get in anywhere with the truck, so you have to have money, either get an Uber or rent a car, or you have to have the time to stop, and then you're not getting paid. So
right, so you would think you could just stop your truck anywhere. Well, she found out you can't do that because, well, guess what? The shippers get a little upset if you say, hey, wait a minute, we got to stop at Mount Rushmore and take some pictures. Your load ain't going to get delivered today.
And even like if you see something cool going down the highway, it's hard to get pulled over in time to get a picture or anything, at least for me.
You know, definitely. Like I said, our memories, if we could take our photos of what we've seen in our brain and all that, everybody be like, wow. But you can't just stop and say, hold on a minute, I'm going to take a picture. People get a little upset if you're going down a highway and stop in the middle of the road just for a photo opportunity.
A few weeks ago when you went with me, we seen a couple eagles out in the field.
Yeah.
And there's no way we could have stopped to get a picture.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. We saw a few of them. And when we were in Texas, we went down to Texas and was checking out some property, and we couldn't get photos of that either. Pictures don't do justice either, because just like the Grand Canyon, you see photos, you think, oh, that's cool, until you're actually there and get the pants scared off you. When you look down, you're like, oh my gosh. It's totally different. Same thing with Texas. I mean, we went down there, and my dad always told me it was flat, nothing there. We went down there, and I'm looking at these big mountains going, well, I think that's a mountain, but I'm not sure. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, we didn't get to take pictures and stuff either because we were rolling down the road. We had a time schedule and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, that's the only thing bad about driving truck, I will say, but there's benefits too.
At least like with my company, it's nice, like if you could tell them, you know, hey, I want to go here, I want to go there. If you want to do your 34 reset or whatever, they'll try to get you where you want to be.
See, when you say that 34 reset, it's kind of like Greek to a lot of people. What's that mean? Well, if you're not in the truck driving industry, you have no idea what that means.
Because you're given a time of like how much you're allowed to work, and we're only allowed to work 70 hours a week.
Think of it as
so like when your 70 hours are up, you have to sit, you can't drive for 34 hours in order to start your week over. So you have to take a little break, at least once a week, usually.
You hear her dog, she's wanting to go somewhere, always. But yeah, that's just it. Normally, what I tell everybody what that's like is like a 40-hour a week, and you guys can't work, let's say, overtime, because that's what your 70 basically is. And that's another thing. Everybody's like, well, what's truck driving like? You know, how many? It's 14 hours, and they make you drive 14 hours. So think about that. You know, everybody's like, yeah, well, that must be nice. Well, if you're working an 8-hour job, work a 14-hour job, and do that all week. You ain't gonna want to work
I
the
always
weekend.
said that. Like, I went from the 40-hour, factory job to this, and now I do, 14, sometimes 16-hour days if I have to sit for a couple hours. And you do a split. I do a 16-hour day sometimes. So you have long days, and like I said, when I was down south, I was running my whole 70 hours in the week.
Yeah, sure.
And have to sit and rest. And people laugh at me when I say they'll only let me work 70 hours. But I would do more if they would let me, oddly enough.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean,
Because
because all the regulations, the government and everything else.
It's different.
It's for everybody's safety. I mean, that's another thing too. People don't understand. You're out there, half asleep and everything else, bored to death, going down the road, and you got cars cutting you off, and it's just the same old, same old. It's not as fun as it used to be. And that's the only thing bad about that. People just don't even care. I mean, I'm like, wow, because you think about it. I mean, you're in basically a 70-foot. I know it's probably a little more, a little less than that, long, whatever. But let's just, for purpose and practice, 70-foot long vehicle, and you're trying to beat it through the intersection, or you're trying to beat it off the off ramp or something. You got your whole family there. You just think about this. You're putting your family, life in your hands, because there's no way that you're going to take that 70-foot long and, oh, here, let me get out of your way. It don't happen. And then we're seeing more and more accidents because of that. I mean, we almost been in a couple of them, the same thing. And I will say this, though. First time I ever seen a deer actually get hit head on with a semi. That was the first time with her. And that was, I don't care to see that again. Yeah, think of it as like a bug on a windshield. That was kind of what it was like. But in the same aspect, when we went into a bad side of town, aka Detroit, we didn't have to worry about people coming up on us. They didn't even want no part of that, because that truck stunk so bad that people would actually cross the street on the other side to walk around us. It was no picnic for us either, but it kept us safe in one way. So I thought, well, I guess, because we had to be there on the shipper on time. So think about that. If you hit something like that in the road and it stinks and you got to clean your windshield, you can't just stop, because your shipper's waiting for your load.
They'll get it cleaned till afterwards, and I felt so bad for the people at the Blue Beacon. I had to clean it. They're like, "What is this stuff?" Deer guts.
Yeah, because that wasn't pretty. I mean, where do you go to wash a semi? Well, obviously to a truck wash, and my hat's off to them too. Speaking of which, owner operators, I got to give my hat off to them, because we played around with it. Chassis is not. I wasn't either. I was hourly, so that made it nice. I've never been OTR. Far as like across the United States. I mean, I was, what would you call it? I guess regional, yeah.
But you were always home every night.
Yeah, I was home every night, which was funny, because I always wanted to be OTR and they wouldn't let me. And I said, well, that's funny, because I didn't have a family. We still don't have children, besides a dog. Anyway, and they never let me go, which was funny, because I begged them. I begged them. I said, put me on the road. I'm a single guy. What do I got to do? I got to go to a home. The rent was paid, or, the mortgage was paid. So why, put me on the road? No, we need you here. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's always weird how that works. And then you got the family man. He's never home. And that was my dad, because he was OTR. And everybody asked me about that. But it was hard with him never home. But mom was a father and a mom at the same time. But, we had family too.
Did you enjoy going out on the road with him?
Well, some days, yeah. It wasn't fun when went to the grain elevator and the semi was literally straight up and down. That's how they dump them. And we woke up because we went against the back of the cab, and, being kids, and, 5, 6 years old, that was quite a trip. When you open the door and you look down, it's like, holy cow. And it scared my dad more than anything, because he was worried about, he said, stay in the truck. You never figured we'd try to open the door. Well, we were scared, so. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we did get to go with him a little bit, and I think that got us into it too. But again, being a truck driver's, son or daughter, what have you, it's just like anything else. I tell people, that's why 9 times out of 10 that your children kind of dive after what you're into or what you've done, and it was a way of life, because we grew up on farms too, so that didn't help us any. Still do.
They made you drive as a kid.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. When I first started driving, you never believe how old I was. 13 years old. That was my first time I got in the truck. You believe that?
Mm-hmm. I was actually going to say younger than that.
No, it was 13. They waited until I was 13 years old. I was driving potato trucks. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a 5-ton truck. Basically, I guess you would say, right?
Like a dump truck.
Yeah, with a big box on the back, and yeah, so that's what they had me started driving in. Obviously tractors, and stuff. So if that's what I said. So I kind of had a background of playing around with clutches, and I understood how they work. So when we actually got into a truck, when I started driving myself, it wasn't. I didn't have to go, well, son, you got to do this or that. It was kind of a given. We knew what not to do. We found that out in a hurry. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did a few mistakes myself. Still do. And people ask me about driving without a clutch. Well, they say in the test not to do that, but the reason why people drive without a clutch, because you got to think of it this way. You're pushing that clutch in and out every time you shift. Well, if you get into town, how many times you push that? How much? Well, okay, traffic jam. How many times you think if you had? She's got an automatic cheating, but anyway, how many times you think you'd push the clutch in and out per se in a traffic jam? I couldn't even count. It'd be 1,000 times.
Constantly.
So think about that. That's a heavy duty clutch. I mean, yeah, it's kind of easy to push down, but it's pretty stiff. So, you would wear your leg out, and that's where that shifting with no clutch came into hand, and that's kind of a way of thing. And I don't know why they don't practice that or say that, in your test, but they say it's illegal. You're supposed to double clutch. So, and what that is, you push it, and then put it in gear, and then when you come out of that gear, you push the clutch in, and then you put it neutral, and then push the clutch in, and then put it in another gear. That's what they call double clutching. And that helps to synchronize with stuff in the transmission, yada yada.
I gotta test it that next year. We'll see how that goes.
Getting back to that, we thought maybe we'd go down owner-operator territory, but the company she's with, I don't know if we can say their name, so...
I know I work for Crete.
Oh, they do? Okay. Well, she works for Crete, and my hat's off to them, because they got us locked in to where we don't have a need to do owner-operator. We did get our own truck now, and we got our trailer, so we're all ready to go. But we found out being an owner-operator, it's a tough world. You fight for your loads. A lot of people are losing money, and so I told her, I said, well, we'll just wait. It's not a big semi. They call it a hot shot. I call it mini semi. Excuse me. Now, we did that because we thought it would be more useful, I guess, would have more loads. It wouldn't be so competitive, but that's actually, I think, more competitive than a big truck, because how many semis you see out there, and you think, wow, there's lots of semis, but we found out there's just as many of them little trucks getting around doing the same thing. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We're kind of waiting on the back burner for that.
Crete has owner operators
they
take on.
Okay,
but
see.
not for hot shot. They have regular semis. They'll let owner operators come on. Oh. And I talked to a couple of them. And the one guy I talked to said he went out on his own. He worked for Crete, and he went out on his own, and then he actually came back to Crete as an owner operator.
Really?
And I asked him why he wanted to come back to a company instead of working for himself, and he said because of all the permits and the paperwork and stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's easier with a company like Crete because they handle all your permits and your inspection. Or
do they do?
If you get inspected or anything, they handle all that.
What about lumpers and tolls? Do they pay for that? Do you know, or not?
As an owner operator, I think that's all out of your pocket.
Right, that's what I wondered.
Because you're getting paid for the load.
Right.
So then all the expenses come from you.
Well, that's why I wondered, because
they will give
some companies do.
discounts on fuel. You get their fuel discount, and you get
go.
like discounts on maintenance and stuff because you can use their shops.
Oh, really? Well, that would be nice.
Like stuff like that.
Maybe you should do a hot shot. No, just kidding with you. But there you go, and I didn't know that myself. So, and we've been together with, obviously for I don't know how many years. But she's been driving for them for a couple. But and I'm really impressed with them. But again, my hat's off to Wilson. They do what they say. I was really impressed with them, and that's me saying it. I couldn't believe that she went through that program. Well, again, I guess that would be Prime too. I suppose I probably should. They're kind of affiliated somewhat.
Kind of.
So
they have their own training program.
It's right. It's a long story, but they kind of sort of together, but they're not. I don't know how you want to call it. They're branch of them or something, I guess you would call it. Anyway, I don't want to get in deep detail about that, but my point is their program was amazing because I had a hard time trying to teach her how to back a trailer up, and when she said I'm going to drive a semi, I about spit my soda everywhere. I said, you can't even back a trailer up. How are you going to do a semi? And she went through the program, and I was pretty impressed. I'm like, wow. And she actually drove a truck. But no,
I
the
had
reason.
my video on that, on the training program.
Oh, did you? Oh, there you go.
So
See?
if you want to watch it.
Yeah, so she has a video, so make sure and check that out. Getting back to that, I picked on her a lot because now we kind of go back and forth because I drove a truck before I met her.
Well,
Yeah.
growing up, you just already said.
Yeah, exactly. So, what
You have a
I
lot more
mean by that
experience.
is when we come up to a corner and we still do this to each other. If you ever wonder, you'll see people in cars, even trucks, whatnot. You'll see them pull from the corner. And you'll see them like take right to the outer edge and turn. That's because of the trailer. We're so used to making wide turns, and we do it in our own what they call POV,
Even
personal
car.
own vehicle.
I'll still take a wide corner. Yeah.
And she used to pick on me. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'm not driving a semi. I'm driving a car. Now she does it,
Yeah.
and that's what makes me
You
laugh.
just get in the habit of it, so you just do it all the time.
And she's yelled at me a few times because she cut a corner short. And I said, oh, watch your trailer. She... So anyway, we kind of have fun with that, and it makes it nice because I would think me being her husband, being on the road, and as much experience as I had, it helps. Another set of eyes on the road. So if you ever think about teaming or whatever, but the thing of teaming is, one's got to be off and one's got to be on.
Right, usually one's sleeping while the other's driving.
So I don't know if that would be, beneficial, but when I go with her, it is for her, and I always thought that was pretty neat, how I can see stuff
you
and
see
she
husband-
don't, and vice versa.
Husband and wives that, are together in the front
Right,
seat or whatever.
right.
Just one driver. The
Yeah,
other
because
knows.
everybody asks us that everywhere we go. You guys team drivers? Nah, we'd probably kill each other. I tell them, they all laugh. I said, no, but we could, but I got laid up, so I hurt my back, and that really bothers me on the road because we hit, we hit bridges and stuff. Because there isn't such a thing as a smooth bridge. Well, there might be, but I haven't found it. Most of the roads are pretty rough, and it's funny because it's the way the semi hits the bumps. It bothers me. Where a car don't, and I don't know why that's way different, but it's the roller coaster, I call it, effect.
I think it's
'Cause it bounces.
how much weight you have in the back makes
Oh,
a big
most
difference.
definitely.
The heavier I am, the rougher it is.
And being that she has a shorter truck, she's got what I call the normal semi, the ordinary semi. It's shorter. So because the reason why they do that is so when you get into a town, you don't want a long nose semi. What I mean by that, the longer the wheelbase, the harder it is to get around town. No, I ain't saying you can't. Don't even get into that discussion. Because everybody's like, oh, I could take my truck. Well, yeah, I'm sure you can. But my point is, this is the reason why they made cab overs back in the day, is so they could get around town. That's exactly what they meant for, and that's what they do. Well, these trucks, everybody thinks there's not much difference in them. There really isn't. It's just the way the cab's designed. It's about the same. They're almost the same. I mean, they're a little longer, but they're pretty close to being the same size. To me, but they're just placed differently. So they're easier to get around the town. So you get kind of the long nose being on the road to the stub nose, which is just a town vehicle. Now I've heard discrepancies about the stub nose rides rougher than the long nose, which it does, but you ask some people, it's like, oh, it ain't much different. Well, I ain't saying it's not, but it still is there.
You come up and say hi.
And there's her bodyguard, I call her. Probably wouldn't even do anything but lick somebody. But, oh yeah, gonna give me static. But no, I mean, in that aspect, everybody asks me what's it like being having your wife out, driving a truck. Aren't you worried or aren't you scared? I'm like, well, I can't say I don't have that fear, but here's the thing: in a relationship, you have to have trust, and that's what I do. I know she makes right decisions, and I trust her. So there's that. But do I like it? Well, do you want your wife to be gone? Well, maybe some guys do want their wife gone for
Probably.
But what do you want? You want to get up? She's over here nudging me. What are you doing? No, that's
I
not
mean,
for
that
you.
goes both ways, because then, I'm not here, so I have to trust you that you're not going to go out with somebody else or something.
Oh,
I'm not
you're no
home.
fun. I can't go without no money. Jeez. No, and that's just it. I tell her, she still don't believe me to this day, but I told her, I said, I got enough problems with one I got. Why would I want another one? In that aspect, so that's how I feel. We're pretty faithful with each other. As far as I know, I don't know if what you're doing on the road, but no, I'm just kidding. Spot, you just want to get the spotlight. Would you quit?
You know, I mean, I've told him like I had, and I was in Memphis, and that I had the guy come up wanting to get my phone number. I've had that happen a couple times.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I had a couple guys wanting my phone number too, so I'm like, yikes. But anyway. So she asked me about that. There's a few things about that, you know, but it's just mainly understanding. And I tell her the way I see her, you know, getting in a truck and doing all that, it's no different if she used to work at a factory. I said, it's really, to me, no different than she's going to work.
Because you can
at
make
a
some
factory.
money there too.
Yeah, well, it's not that. It's just, you gotta have that mindset that she's going to work. You know, and everybody's like, well, you know, are you sad about it? Well, who wouldn't be? But
Yeah.
I know she's gonna be back home, so. And I've had a few people ask me too on my aspect. It's like, man, what happens if something happens on the road? I said, well, I guess I have to pack my car up and go for a trip.
Which you had to do when I quit Wilson.
Yeah.
I thought I had the rental car lined up to come home, and then
Oh, that was a mess.
they said you can't return it out of state. They wouldn't let me. So I had to cancel the rental car.
Well, we're not gonna tell who that was
he had
either.
to
but-
drive up.
And I had the same
get me.
problem. I tried to get a rental car too, and they said the same thing, you know. And then they told me they didn't have one, and a guy dropped one off. I looked at him like, oh, well, that's not available. Okay, whatever. I was pretty desperate, so I don't remember what we ended up doing.
You drove up with your truck.
Yeah, I took my own personal
I
vehicle.
told him he drove up, and then I drove back down. He was
Yeah.
obviously tired from driving up all the way up.
That's what it was. And that was, what, 12-hour drive, something like that?
Yeah.
So, a few miles away. Anything else you want to touch base on?
No.
You know, other than the usual, I just, I know all of us truck drivers say it. We say it every day we're out on the road. I wish some people in them four-wheelers, and that's what we call you guys. I don't know if you know it or not, but anybody that's in a car, they're considered a four-wheeler. And I wish they'd have more patience and pay attention to what they're doing, because we don't want to get in an accident any more than anybody else does. You know, and truck driver gets blamed for everything. We always have, because we're supposed to be the professional. Well, I got a newsflash for you. We put on our pants the same way you do. You know, I was like, well, you got to be better than that. Well, good luck.
Nowadays, you got truckers that are patient too.
Yeah, I had a couple of incidences where I had a truck driver about kill me, and I don't know what he was thinking, but we're not going to discuss that because it happened and it's over, done and over with. I don't know if he was impatient or what was going on. He had a hot load. If he was sick, I would hope he had some kind of emergency, because he about destroyed a few cars and us as well. I was in a pickup truck hauling a horse trailer, and yeah, I almost seen my maker. I thought I ended up skidding across the bridge with the back bumper of my truck, and
He took out a bunch of cones.
oh, he took everything out. He even took the arrow sign for the construction, blew that thing to pieces. And I thought to myself, man, what is going on with this guy? I was hoping he was on drugs or something. And I know that sounds bad, but why would you do something like that on purpose, you know? That was terrible. My brother was behind me. He had a car trailer with a truck on it, and he passed us in the construction zone. And that was with the barrels up. So he took the barrels all out, hit the construction sign, and I don't know how his truck kept going, but it did, and he never even slowed down. He cut me off. He was going into a bridge. It was one lane. That's one of my stories I tell people now. And I've never experienced that before. I mean, yeah, we've had a few people get close and stuff, but that one ran me. I thought we were dead. He cut me off on a bridge that was one lane, and I don't know how. The grace of God's the only thing I can think of. My brother said my horse trailer in the back of my truck was actually up on the cement wall, going across that bridge, which I have to admit it probably was. But anyway, I mean, I understand, and I'm not mad at him. I just was confused. I mean, I guess I can't say I was mad, but I was a little upset, I guess.
We just need to be patient and be nice to
right.
each other.
So, it works both ways. I mean, I know, I understand truck drivers.
I mean, we all make mistakes.
Exactly.
And, I mean, you gotta understand, you never know how long somebody's been driving. It could be their first day driving in front of you. I try to be patient and be nice, so
Dog's bored.
she's trying to chew my sleeve.
She's letting us know if she's bored and want to go do something.
So I guess we'll get off of here and
Yeah,
maybe we'll
let
do
you guys
another
go. We'll cut it
video
short.
some other day.
Because nobody wants a long video. Who watches it this
Thanks
long?
for watching. And,
Anyway, yeah, if you have any questions or comments, again, get hold of Chas, and if you want to hear from my side of the story, let me know. I might have to do a long distance podcast with you because you might be 100 miles away or so.
We'll try to do some more videos.
Yeah. In the meantime, God bless.